Hi. Are you guys waiting for me? I'm sorry I'm late. Okay, Twitter, you're being a little too extra. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Let me remove this. Apparently, we are not live on Twitter. Well, that's okay. I hear myself somewhere else. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Can y'all see me? Let me know. I see you guys. I see everybody. If you can see me, then we see each other. Hey, everybody. Hey, Layla. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Last Ronin. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, my God. I'm sorry I had to change the time. You guys know I work on Baby Bunny's schedule, not my schedule. So, yeah, it is what it is. Hey, hey, Lady Bird. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Welcome. You finally made it. You made it. You made it. Thank you, Phoenix. Shout out to you. All right. Everybody, hey Ingrid, how's everybody doing? Oh my goodness, you guys. We I guess I made the people angry, which shit happens. What am I supposed to do? I guess I made the people angry. I don't know what happened. I just came here and said I'm gonna do a live. That was earlier today. Y'all don't miss it out. Don't miss out the live, okay? But I made the people angry, and you know what? That's okay. It typically happens. Shout out to you. Yes, Neil, this is a live. Mm-hmm. Mm. We got quite the video today. So if you're watching us live, shout out to you. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody. Who cares? Yeah, I don't typically ask permission. Are you okay? I just do. Let them be mad. Mad. Oh my god, y'all are funny. You guys are gonna get me in trouble. People are angry. It must be the internet. Gemini, it must be like that's what it is. It's the internet. It's the internet. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, guys, we're going to get started because we got so much to address. First of all, did you guys see what just broke? Did y'all see what just broke on TMZ? Lord have mercy. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So you guys remember, hold up, let me close this little ad. That there was a lawyer that was like on News Nation, right? This was over the weekend, who basically said that there was a person that was shopping around Diddy tapes, and there was someone in the tapes was like higher profile than Diddy. Y'all remember that? Put a thumbs up if you remember that. Yes, you said, can we start with the lawyer and the victim? I really don't give a rat's ass what she said. Ooh, say more, Vicky. Okay, so y'all remember this, okay? The lawyer's name is Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Let me know. Yeah. Okay. So this just dropped on TMZ maybe like 2 hours ago and whatnot. Let's get into it. So Diddy's accuser, Adrena English. So if you guys remember, Adrena English was one of the accusers who came forward, and her lawsuit. I remember the pictures. See a lot of stuff in there, a lot of allegations that were made. Basically, she was, my understanding, someone that was entertaining in a party that was assaulted around this time. And, she accounts her experience. Well, that lawyer that was representing Adrena English, her name is Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Okay. The one that talked about the fact that there were tapes that were being shopped around with somebody higher, high profile than Diddy, with Diddy, sex tapes, basically. So that attorney wants off of Adrena's case. She wants off of him. There's so many, right, Queen? There's like so many of them. But Adrena, that the attorney that's representing her, wants off of that case. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what happened. What do you guys think is? I'm just wondering. I'm wondering. Usually, the attorney admitted that she regularly does catch and kill work for VIPs. Wasn't a great look. Somebody said that to in my comments. They were like, they were side eyeing her as an attorney, which I don't know. I mean, listen, I knew of Ariel Mitchell Kidd because of her lawsuit with Trey Songz before all of this went down with Diddy. So that's the other thing to kind of keep in mind. I just want to know, what do you guys think? So the attorney wants off her case. I can't work with you. All right. So this is right here. This is Adrena English. All right. So she's an export. TMZ says the ex-porn star accusing Diddy of sex trafficking her at his white parties is likely about to be in need of new legal representation because a lawyer handling the case is asking a judge to cut her loose. According to the legal docs obtained by TMZ, Adrena English attorney Ariel Mitchell Kidd wants her to withdraw from the case, claiming Adrina's giving her conflicting instructions that make it impossible for her to represent Adrina. This is Adrina. Whoa. I mean, she hasn't even filed. She said she was going to file like in 3 days. Can someone give a better understanding of what catch and kill is? Catch and kill, man, I know we talked about it last time. Hold up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Catch and kill, and anybody like Vicky, anybody that has a better understanding of that in lawyers speak or speech, please let me know in the chat. I feel like somebody explained it to us, but it is a here it is. Catch and kill is a technique employed by newspapers and media outlets to prevent an individual from publicly revealing information damaging, and this is not a legal definition, but basically it says from preventing an individual from publicly revealing information damaging to a third party. That is what a catch and kill is, a technique employed by newspapers, media outlets to prevent an individual from publicly revealing information damaging to a third party. Okay? Y'all remember that little catch and kill thing? That's right. So people will buy stories so they'll never get released into the public. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Thank you for giving me that definition. Shout out to you. Basically. So basically she can keep her story straight as a victim. I don't know if that's the case. And we can reread that. Queen's like, well, listen, she can go to Tyrone Blackburn. No, don't go to Tyrone. Basically. Let's keep reading. So Mitchell Kidd also says there's been a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship. She claims that there are irreconcilable differences between them and says Adrina's tone and lack of respect and her continued behavior and self-destructive activities have made it impossible for Kidd Mitchell to continue representing her. This is that attorney. All right. She has been on News Nation. She was the one that said the catch and kill. That's her. This is her. She was the one that went viral over the weekend. That's her. That's her. That's her. So everybody keep it. This is who she is. If you guys have seen her, might have seen her around. This is her. So she is saying she can't represent Adrina English anymore because of her tone and lack of respect and her continued behavior and self-destructive activities. Now, what the hell does it mean by tone? Thank you, Vicky. Says seeing an illegally enforceable non-disclosure agreement, signing or saying, the publisher purports to buy exclusive rights to catch the damaging story from the individual and then kills the story for the benefit of the third party by preventing it from ever being published. Okay. Thank you, Vicky, for giving us that really great definition. Vicky says, why not just terminate the ACA? She hasn't filed anything with the court, so why all the media hoopla? Well, when did she realize that she got toned from Adrina? That's what I want to know, because she literally did that interview. When did she do that interview? Hold up. Let me pull it up. She did that interview with News Nation. Was it Saturday or Friday? News Nation. Ariel Mitchell. Hold up. Ariel Mitchell, yada, 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 Kidd. Here it is. She literally did it 4 days ago. We are now on Wednesday. She dropped it like Saturday or Friday. This is her. So what happened there? Let me know. Jill, thank you for the $3, love. Shout out to you. She said her tone. BJ, what is that even? Like, what do you mean her tone? They didn't get along? What happened? She's a hostile client? Yeah, so she just did one for Diddy? That's why BJ's like, her tone? What's that mean? What's that mean? Shout out to Jane. Guys, by the way, just a heads up. I put in my description box various creators that are covering some of this extensively, like BJ, the plainest Jane. Come get this commentary. Kiva, Danny Robertson. Go check out their channels. If you're watching this, hit the description box and you're going to see all their links to their channels so you guys can go, because everybody's doing deep dives, and I'm telling you, you're going to get something from everybody. Interesting. You'll get something from everybody reporting on this. What do you guys think this is all about? Maybe she talks to her lawyer like, maybe she'll hire Tyrone Blackburn. She said tone. Look at what Vicky just said here. And Pamela, thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. Shout out to you. Look at what Vicky just said. Did she just do a catch and kill for Diddy? So she does this viral interview to then jump off the case? Is that what I'm hearing? I don't know about this. You said this has, yeah, this has nothing to do with the client. I think it's just her, right? Like, thank you for saying this. You said coincidence that kid comes out with the news about the high profile video, then ditches the client? Well, this just broke today on TMZ. By the way, shout out to Jane who gave me the heads up on this. Okay. Because she really was the one that said, hey, did you see this? I had not seen this. All right. So let's keep reading. TMZ broke the story. Adrena filed a bombshell lawsuit against Diddy back in July, accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Okay. Now, Mitchell Kidd joins us on the TMZ Live a week after filing the suit and told us Diddy's indictment was imminent. So she's been giving a lot of commentary, so everybody's aware. And the feds eventually arrested Diddy in September and threw him in jail. Now, if you guys remember, this is part of the lawsuit. They added this photo to the lawsuit. As we first told, Adrena, a former porn star whose stage name was Amanique, filed a police report in Miami in August, detailing many of the same claims against Diddy she laid out in the lawsuit. All right. So, a spokesperson for TMZ tells TMZ that less than 3 months after filing her lawsuit against Sean Combs, Audrina English has been dropped by both of her attorneys. Oh, shit. Here we go. Let me make myself smaller. By both of her attorneys after making completely fabricated statements. In papers filed with the court today, her former attorneys cited Miss English's questionable antics and undermining behavior. As we've said from the start, anyone can file a lawsuit without proof. And this case is a clear example of that. Hold up, TMZ, which side are you on? English escalated the things by filing false police reports and making baseless claims using high profile events as a backdrop to harm innocent people. No matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone. What do y'all think? Her tone, hostile. Well, I don't think she has an attorney. And here we go. You said her story isn't adding up. She's saving face with the state bar. You're talking about the attorney saving face with the state. Clearly, is the attorney. Ariel is saving face with the state bar. This is becoming a mess. I'm going to tell you guys, it's truly becoming a mess. Hold up. Kitty, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Hopefully the victims get their voice heard. I absolutely agree. Mm-hmm. We'll catch the replay. Shout out to you, Vicky. Thank you so much. He said, have a great evening. And for the record, Jag is still full of shit. Oh my God. We about to get there. All right. So that is the news that we have on Adrena English and the attorney who, by the way, she actually does an interview with PIERS as well. Okay. But before we get to PIERS and the commentary we're going to give to that interview, I want to show you guys something. Now, one of the things, it's my understanding that certain people like to strike channels that are speaking against a narrative that's being put out there. Hell, I mean, I'm used to it. I'm not new to it. If somebody doesn't like your narrative that you're putting out there, they're going to file a strike on you, a copyright, whatever, or completely try to terminate your channel or take you down. I mean, some of you guys have seen that, right? We've seen it in, Scientology. Anytime we talk about Scientology, there's always like demonetization of videos that happens. Videos go yellow. Or we've seen it with, shout out to BJ, some of her trolls that attack, they follow her and they try to strike videos. That's what they do, right? Well, that's what's happening here too in this situation. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys some clips, and at the risk of me being struck, because again, I'm going to fight it as much as I can, because that's what I do here. I'm a fighter. I fight. Yes, we do. I want to show you guys something. Okay. And this is why I side eye a lot of what's being put out there when it comes to this woman. It's no shade, but it's what needs to be said, because I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. All right. Let's start right here before we start with the commentary on PIERS. Okay. Here we go. So read the little title. It says, she once saved 3 girls from Epstein Island. Now let me read the description. Okay. It says, Jaguar Wright claims she knows 3 girls who were sent to Rick Ross rap music videos before being trafficked to Epstein Island. All right. Rick Ross. It's an important name to remember. Let's play some of this, okay?
3 women I know. I got them off of Epstein Island. I cannot say where they are in the world.
No.
What I can say is when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
Yeah.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
How?
Please.
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
They auditioned to be models for music videos. 3 women. 3 million. 3, right? One of the things I wonder is, did you get permission to tell this about them if this did happen, right? Did you get permission? Did you just, that's the problem that I see here. All right, let's keep playing this. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID.
Okay.
And they collected their passports. And then they drugged them. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container. Strange.
This is crazy, right? Like they were in, this is what she's saying. They were in a storage container. What boat did she get there? How did she get there? That's what we want to know, right? We all want to know what is going on. You said, what is she smoking? You know, we are giving commentary under fair use, of course. All right. She said, wait, I don't know how you drive a boat. I mean, you get on a boat and you go down there. I'm just saying, because let me tell you, when I did my video today, I literally got a lot of like comments that were like very trollish. And I said, well, y'all are not going to shut me up. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say I don't trust and I question everything that she says. It doesn't take away from what she's been through, but I do have questions. I think it's important that if you're going to tell the story of 3 alleged victims that you've rescued while you were on a boat from Epstein Island, that we have questions about what is going on. It's important, okay?
Strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
Wow.
After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos.
Okay.
Shoots. As groupies and extras.
Yeah, that's Rick Ross, right?
To make sure that they could walk around in society without looking like victims.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, that's when they were shipped off to Epstein Island to be.
So that's when they were shipped off to Epstein Island. That's what it sounds like.
Broken in.
Okay.
And to be readied for Dubai and Moscow.
They took their IDs and then they're, trafficking them all over the world.
When they got into the boat, and I looked at them, they didn't have to tell me shit.
Okay.
And neither one of them, none of them.
That's right.
They didn't speak for weeks.
They didn't. All right. So then they promote the interview. All right. Shout out to real life. Okay. All right. So she says Rick Ross. Well, a couple weeks ago, guess who's partying with Rick Ross? Who's that? I'm pretty sure. Let me see. This is it, right? Oh, it's on her IG. Oh, okay. So did she get to ask about, this was literally posted 6 days ago. Did she get to ask about those victims? Did she ask about those victims? Hey, in the chat, those that are coming in that are apologists, did she ask? Did she say, hey, listen, there's 3 victims that came to you, okay? 3 of them that I say from Epstein Island, all right? I roadblocks myself up, I don't know, imagination, whatever it may be. And here you are taking pictures with Rick Ross. Now, I wish this was the only one, right? She talks about this on her own. Let's pull the transcript on this, okay? Let's see. Yada, yada. I think it's at the 240-minute mark, 245. Here we go. She talks about her encounter with Rick Ross, okay? She says, I know how to conduct myself with, some of these professionals, okay? She didn't confront him. Listen, this is at the 3-minute and 10-second mark.
What's more on the way?
Uh-huh.
It's funny, I just had a very interesting interaction with Rose.
That
was it.
Rick Ross, Rose? Okay. All right. Okay. Rose. That guy. All right. Let me know. I'm just waiting for the people to come here because, there was, defenders. I just want to know. She's over here doing her thing.
Interesting.
That was interesting.
I'm sure whoever staged that little red carpet moment is disappointed. I think they thought I was going to flip out and start calling them a Diddy doo-wop bop.
Well, she said, some of you guys are disappointed. You thought I was going to call him the Diddy doo-wop whopper, right? But I thought that you rescued 3 women from Epstein Island that were taken all the way to Rick Ross. Don't come for me in the comments about me calling out somebody that historically has been using other people's stories and saying that she's here for victims when she's not. Okay? This is entertainment for her. All right? Let's keep watching just a little bit, and then we'll switch over to Pierce over here, okay? Let's hit play. It's funny.
No, I know how to be professional.
That's right.
Very much so.
Okay?
That's
it. That's what she says. That's all. Okay? Got it? All right. Moving on to this. Let's get it together, y'all. Let's get it together. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, love. Kiss them a smooch. Thank you for telling the people to run the likes. I just want to make sure that the people understand that when I say, listen, I've known of Jaguar Wright for many years because I've seen the antics for many years. I know because I've seen it, and it's documented very well out there. Y'all want to look at surface level shit? That's absolutely fine. Shout out to you. If you're a fan of her, that's fine. That's on you. I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm letting you know what I see here. Okay? You have the opportunity to face somebody who abducted 3 women or had 3 women hostage for their, whatever they needed to use them for. And you mean to tell me that you didn't even confront him? You didn't say anything? You know how to hold yourself professionally, but I thought you were about victim advocacy. All right, cool. All right, let's play this. Let's get it together right now. Hold up. Is this it?
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Combs have one person in common.
Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist.
Oh,
I
Lord.
would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil.
Everyone wanted to go to Diddy's white parties when they were happening. If I got an invite, I would go. But there is a party within a party.
Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, obviously, to sponsor.
Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
All right, hurry up.
To be considered libelous.
I think if Diddy cooperates and gives up some big names of actual crimes.
Did y'all see the attorney? She's right there. She's right there. Now let's get started right to the interview.
I'm going to start with you. You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated
Yes.
by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was
That's
it?
what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, you think, what was going on?
She cares about the victim. She was partying with Rick Ross and them, right? Thank you, Arius1. Shout out to my boo, Danny Robertson, y'all, and all my people that are in the chat supporting me. Thank you guys so much. She says she cares about the victims. Okay, this is part of the show. This is part of that show, okay?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey.
I think Patti LaBelle avoids her too, by the way. Now, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure what I've heard is that some people don't co-sign this. Some people do, some people don't, okay?
And being taught to be a just avoid him, honey, it's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you.
She's really good.
So you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Pierce, everybody's been notable by their silence. Everybody has been silent, other than Damon Dash, who, was able to speak when he put on his teeth and he said, listen, I don't know nothing about these Diddy parties. Yet, there was this party and then there was this party, but we really didn't go to that party. Yeah, no, we know. Brooke, shout out to you. Thank you for the $2 love. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. Y'all are amazing. Thank you. Let me hit play. All right.
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately.
Okay, who?
Sean Carter.
Okay.
This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through.
And to a certain degree, she's right. Like a lot of these people between the music and the industry, movie industry, all these people kind of, they know each other. They party together. Yeah. I mean, she's not wrong about that. I can give her credit to things that make sense.
Our culture and our society for decades, it must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right. There's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil.
Okay. Did she get the memo? Does Claudia know about her being mentioned here? I would never take a picture with the devil. But yet she went to the parties? Okay. All right.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy.
Well, has he? Like if he's talking to his lawyer right now, right? That's who he would be talking to. If he's going to rat the people, that's what he's going to do. The thing about this situation, and I think some of you guys can agree, is that even before the indictments, even though some of this went down, we already have a lot of pictures out there of these white parties and these individuals that had associations with Diddy. We have financial stuff that's out there. We have a lot of stuff that's out there, right? Even if he doesn't talk, some of us, like if you're Ashton Kutcher and it's known that they're good friends, right? It's known that they hung out with Danny Masterson, who's a convicted artist. Of course, all of this is known. So even if he doesn't talk, do you honestly think that the feds and the powers that be aren't really looking at different areas in order to bring some justice to this or some attention to this? This is what I think is going to happen. No, you're right. They're not. He doesn't. Piers, you know, I'll give this to Piers. Piers does very well at bringing on people that are controversial. But to me, it's like you bringing on people that are controversial that I probably would have asked a little bit more receipts for this specific person because of the track record that she's had here on YouTube historically. So for those that say you don't know what you're talking about, historically, okay, from the time that she hit the link with Storm Monroe to where we're at right now, historically, she's done this. Thank you. Do the right thing for the $4.99. Shout out to you, love. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you.
The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it.
I believe that.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
Oh,
see, this is the thing.
For those that were not at those freak-off parties, she's being asked, what were they like? So you went to the parties? Okay. All right.
Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience.
Yeah, just like the 3 Epstein victims. Okay. That she saved. And then she parties with the person that was holding those 3 victims, right? Yeah, this is your victim advocate that y'all are looking at this woman for this? Okay.
I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz.
Oh. She's good at like throwing things in the middle of answering a question. Please know that. Grandmother's like, the lies. She's good at throwing something in the midst of answering something where it's like, can you just get to the answer? Like, what is the answer the question?
The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras.
All right.
I have my own tapes.
Okay.
I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors.
Who would publicly say this knowing that law enforcement would come after you for this? Y'all know that? Like, who would publicly say this? I have my own tapes and the workers have their own sex tapes. I thought it was illegal as well. Admission? Who does that?
The drugging. Putting girls in the suitcases. Dumping them in alleyways. It's horrifying.
I would agree with you to this to a certain extent. And let me tell you why. And I've said it before. Shout out to you. Says, I don't agree with their approach. Definitely don't agree with their approach. But here's my problem that I have with her. I do believe that she is a victim of something, that she's gone through something in her life, combined with maybe some mental illness that she has. Okay. I agree with you on that. The problem that I have with her is that she is taking, and I've said this earlier, and a lot of people took issue with me saying this. I'm going to say it again because I stand on it. She's taking from people's stories and basically wrapping them up onto her own or putting herself there. And how is that doing right by any victim? You know what I mean? Like, how are you doing right by any victim when you're doing something like that? That's like if I take from Phoenix or Pika or Grandmother's story and then make it my own and say, I'm going to come up here and talk about how Jay-Z and, Sean Carter, P. Diddy, and all these individuals had something to do with, that story. And it's not my story. It's somebody else's story. I believe that there were victims trafficked. I definitely agree with that. And I believe she might have seen something, but this is not her story. It just isn't. And it doesn't take anybody to like wake up and say, yeah, she's right. She's lying. She's plagiarizing a victim's story, basically.
And it's all done under the protection of, this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
It seems to have been something that people a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too
Everyone
scared
knows.
to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well.
I agree.
The whole point of this, like Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going.
And this is an accurate statement. She's not saying an untruth here. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. But she's not saying something that a lot of us didn't already know, that we've been talking about this or reporting this, or those that have lived in the industry and are well aware. She's not saying anything different.
Going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's a Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is.
Okay.
We got to stop making Diddies. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically. And Clyde Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Look, Clive Davis is not here to respond to that, nor is Jay-Z. But a lot of people, famous people in the music industry, have been notable, like I say, by their silence so far. It's also been notable that since the Me Too campaign began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Since Me Too began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same kind of scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back.
Okay. So the Me Too movement was all funded by Jay-Z, Sean Carter, right? So out of the people that came out and said what they had to say, I mean, was this all a fake too? I guess I'm just wondering, where's the scam and where are the receipts to show that? And this is what gets to me, is like, if I was a victim in that movement, okay, I would be upset that somebody who is trying to benefit by using the name of that victim and put a little spin to it would be saying something about this. Like, you got to show some receipts for this, or like say more. And how do you get, and the other side to this is, how do you get the receipts to show that Sean Carter, Jay-Z is behind the Me Too movement, or that he orchestrated or set up R. Kelly? What?
Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with—
So is Robert Kelly innocent? Is that what we're saying? So is R. Kelly innocent?
Gayle King, and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing.
I'm confused
to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
guess they on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think that the world is going to be—
All right, I want to stop right here. So somebody left me in my comments, and I mentioned this last time too when I was live on this, all right? And they said, because I mentioned this too. I said, why is she talking about them being quiet during the Me Too movement and whatever, that being an issue for Jaguar? Somebody did leave me a very interesting comment that said something to the effect of, Jaguar is saying the Me Too movement is absent from what's going on with the victims of Puff Daddy or P. Diddy. Where are they, and why aren't they standing by these victims? Who's to say that they're not? Who's to say that the victims from the Me Too movement aren't standing by, Cassie or anybody else that has been named a victim of Diddy at this point? Who's to say that they're not? And what does it look like? You said Rose McGowan was silenced by Lisa Bloom. I want to understand what she means by that. What would this look like? Because here's the deal is, there's only so much that they can do or say publicly. I think that that's something that we have to kind of be mindful. If they were a victim of and they got their justice through the Me Too movement, who's to say they're not supporting current victims? We don't know. We don't know. Paige, shout out to you. Thank you for the $9.99. This may sound crazy, but the government knew. She only names Black men. Nothing came out of Epstein. What if it's a setup for government to protect politicians, take down the Black guys, maybe a Kutcher to feed us? Say more, Paige. Say more. Thank you so much for the $9.99 though. She's only naming people that she feels like are, clearly that she has named, Diddy, of course. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, if this was a setup, explain that, break that down for some of us that don't really quite understand how the Me Too movement would be a setup. That's kind of where I'm at. That's all. But thank you, Paige.
Shocked by what comes out.
Right. And she
absolutely.
worked for.
I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands.
Thousands.
I talk to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now.
That number 3 is very magical, right? How many Epstein people did she save? Hold up. She said it was 3, right? 3. Jaguar Wright claims she knows 3 girls who were sent to Rick Ross rap music videos that were used. Something about 3. Number 3, are these the same ones? Are these the same ones that, and then she saw Rick Ross and was like, hey, what's going on?
Who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Porter?
people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. Piers.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know.
I'm
just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
The book.
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to.
I'm gonna need Albie Shore to make a statement about this. Maybe they are friends. I don't know.
I'll hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen.
It's true.
And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy, and everyone knows it.
But we're not denying that. Nobody's denying that, right? She's not lying as far as all of this leading back to Diddy. That's fine. She's absolutely correct. You guys, all of this that she's saying, we've been knowing. If you've reported on any of this, or if you talked about it, or if you watch any of the old Gene Deal videos, or, all these other people in the industry. She is not saying anything that's revolutionary if you've been following this. This is not new information. We've been knowing this, right? So it's like, yeah, we know. Albie Shore has been he's even said it himself. He knows that something happened to him that's very well connected to Diddy. This is not revolutionary information. It's not.
The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Jaguar, I got to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you can't take over this interview. You can't. They won't let you. Piers is like, no.
Thank you for caring.
I do care. Thank you very much. Well, I'm joined now by the host of Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. DJ
Vlad.
Vlad.
Lord, we got it. Listen, this is when it gets messy. Did y'all watch this part? Oh my God. First of all, Piers, you could have done so much better than Vlad. I'm telling you.
It's pretty horrifying listening to these testimonies. What did you make of what you just heard?
Oh, man.
Well, Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist.
Oh,
I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show.
First of all, Vlad, as much as I don't like Jaguar Wright, okay, I do think he's wrong for saying what he's saying here, too. I'm like, listen, I would agree with you on this. Vic, what is I agree with some of the things that, like, I can't even get my words straight. It's crazy because it's like Vlad has no place to talk. Honestly, he's got no place to talk, but go ahead.
You don't believe her?
She's got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying that there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done, but yeah, I can't co-sign anything that Jaguar Wright is saying, if that's your question.
Well, I mean, obviously, since we last spoke, there have now been these charges against Diddy, which are incredibly serious. You didn't think at the time we last spoke that he was likely to face these charges. Are you surprised it's come to this?
I'm not surprised, because I feel that law enforcement in general is reactionary. I think that when you look at high profile
He's not surprised. He's only set up a couple people. Okay, that's allegedly it, in my opinion.
individuals, their arrests, indictments usually come after a documentary, a big TV show, or
an interview with Vlad TV. Yes, that usually happens after, people get arrested after an interview with Vlad TV. You got the feds knocking, knock, 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 and you did an interview, you told on yourself, and there they come.
In Diddy's case, there was this huge lawsuit that Cassie filed, and everyone got to see all the details and all the attention that came to it. So yeah, it wasn't a surprise that it actually happened because you've seen this happen over and over again. R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, all the attention that they got, and then now Diddy. So yeah, I mean, this is ultimately the world that we live in. But he'll have his day in court. And his lawyer said that he's not going to take a plea deal, because I think a plea deal at this point is probably going to be very heavy-handed, probably 20 years plus. So it makes sense for him to go to court. But we'll ultimately see what happens. Because we haven't really seen, apart from some of the funny stuff of, there's 1 million bottles of lube that they found there. I'm sorry, 1,000 bottles of lube and so forth. We have yet to really see what the evidence is. And I think once we see
Hold up, really, Crafty Kid Iqbal just went live talking about the Piers Morgan Jag interview. Lord have mercy.
actual evidence, then people actually formulate an opinion on what's happening right now.
Do you think there's a lot of people in the rap world in particular who are pretty fearful right now of where this may all lead? Is it a bit like the Epstein scandal, do you think?
Oh my God.
I don't really think so, because I mean, ultimately, everyone wanted to go to Diddy's white parties when they were happening. If I got an invite, I would go, but there's a party within a party.
Well, did he go to the? Yeah. I'm gonna do what Suge Knight did to Chris Cuomo. Okay. You took too long to answer. That's what Suge Knight said to Chris Cuomo. You took too long to answer. You need to answer the question. Did you go to a party? Have you been to the party?
There's the actual party where the big celebrities go to, the Howard Sterns and the Leonardo DiCaprios and so forth. You never hear of any of them really being involved in this stuff. They go home, at 2, 3 o'clock a.m. And then there's the private parties that seem to involve the sex workers and probably certain types of people that are kind of in an inner circle. No. And we'll see if those names ultimately come out or not. I think that when it comes to a situation like the feds, cooperating is a very big thing. And I think if Diddy cooperates and gives up some big names of actual crimes that they committed, that'd be a way of actually, lessening.
Do you think Diddy's going to cooperate? Let me know in the chat. Do y'all think that he's going to cooperate? Because I don't know. I just don't see Diddy just dropping names willy-nilly like that.
The amount of time that he does, or possibly even walking away.
I mean, what had you heard about Diddy over the years? Obviously, people knew he had parties. They knew he was a big rap star and so on. But the nature of this kind of thing, I mean, I'm asking because when I watched, for example, I met Diddy a couple of times. He was always perfectly charming to me. But I've met a lot of people who are charming and turned out to be monsters. The video that came out of showing him beating up his then girlfriend in a hotel corridor was so shocking.
It's crazy.
That when I watched it, I remember thinking, well, this guy is capable of anything. I mean, a man that would do that, who's that famous, who would do that to a woman in a hotel corridor, public hotel corridor, if he's prepared to be that violent in public, knowing there might be cameras around, he's prepared to do.
It's public, Pierce, but what Diddy would do is that he'd basically check out the whole floor. That whole floor was to him. The man was running, nude with just a towel on, going after Cassie. He didn't give a shit whether it's public or private. He has purchased off people. That's what he was doing. All these people. When Stevie J came and he gave that interview to TMZ and basically said, he's always given jobs to the people. That's what he means, is that he's paid off a lot of people. When Stevie J went to jail, a couple years ago over unpaid child support, who the hell paid his bail? Diddy? Mona Scott? Who was it?
Pretty much anything was my conclusion. I mean, what did you hear about him over the years?
Yeah, I mean, that tape was horrific. And after our interview that we did with Roger Bonds, who I helped to bring onto the show, I did my own interview with Roger Bonds. It was a very in-depth, I think, two-hour interview where he goes into actually witnessing a lot of women that were physically abused by Diddy. I mean, not only Cassie, of course, which you saw multiple times, but Kim Porter. He was on a trip where Kim Porter got her nose broken allegedly by Diddy and flew in a plastic surgeon to fix it. There was a personal chef that Diddy beat up. I actually heard voicemails of her describing it. This was something that she wanted to come publicly with.
You see how much Vlad TV knows because he's talked to people? So these people have always talked to each other. In my opinion, everybody's always talked to each other. Now, if you have this information, I mean, he's cooperated with federal authorities before to, put people behind bars. Why wouldn't he just let the feds know everything that he knows too? I'm just wondering.
There was other women as well that I got details on. So I think that Diddy has a long history of violence towards women, but also men, because there's also the Steve Stout incident. If you remember that whole situation, he was in a music video with Nas, Hate Me Now, and there's a scene where Diddy was on the cross like Jesus. Yes. And I guess he went to Steve Stout afterwards and said that he wants to take that part out. That part wasn't taken out. So Diddy and his entourage show up at Steve Stout's office and they beat him with a champagne bottle, which they ultimately settled out of court for. So I think there's a lot of violence that has happened around him. And I think at this point, it's just catching up to him.
There's lots of rumor mills about him being
at this point, it's catching up to him. The violence that's around him. That's what he's saying.
secretly gay or bisexual or whatever. I mean, I don't care, but do you think there's much credence to those?
I mean, it's hard to say. I have heard, because remember, for example, the Wendy Williams situation. She was on the radio in New York and she said that she had photos of Diddy in a gay type environment of some sort. And I had someone actually explain to me what that photo was after the fact. And Diddy came in and threatened to sue the radio station unless she was fired. And she was fired, and she had to go to Philly for, I think, 5 years or something like that. So there was that.
Yes. Do y'all remember we talked about this earlier today, that he had set up for Wendy Williams to get beat up by a girl group that he was managing. You guys had put that in the chat as well. We all see each other. So this is all very well known. Squids, you're not the only one. I agree with you. A lot of this does not add up. Shout out to Poe, who room rated us. Thank you, Poe. Shout out to you, Poe. It doesn't add up. Okay. It just doesn't add up.
That I'm not sure how true it is, because it was just a photo, and a photo, could mean a lot of different things. I mean, the fact that he's a cuckold, that he likes to masturbate while watching women.
He's a what now? He's a what now? he's a what now? What is he? Wait, what is that? What is? Did you see how he just said that? Oh man, no. Did y'all hear what he said? He's a what now? He's a whoa. See, the fact that YouTube ain't even blocking the word, girl. People love that word. YouTube is not even blocking the word Linda. Hold up. Let me get my face. There you go. He said, what now? What? He said, what? Okay.
He's have sex with other men. I don't know. Is that gay? Is that bisexual? Is that just being a cuckold? It's hard to say. It's not something that I'm actually into. But I'm sure it blurs the line.
Wait, Vlad's like, that's like not something that I'm actually into, but let me talk about it. Jay McCarthy, thank you so much for the 20. I'm starting to get this vibe that when he first started this alleged debauchery, they told him that he would need to be ready for the time that he would be taken down, which is why he went as deep as far as he did. You know what, Jay, you would think that with the people that he surrounds himself with, nobody stopped him. You're right. Like, I hear what you're saying with that. There was nothing enough to stop him, because this is a whole industry of crime. That's what it is, right? Thank you so much for the 20. I agree with you on that. Like, they set him up to go down potentially, but at the end of the day, I do think that Diddy did what he did because he did what he did. He could have done so much, and his attorney talks about his success and everything, but I'm like, well, Diddy's responsible for a lot of the ish that's happened to him,
Lines between homosexuality and bisexuality somewhat. But I don't think he's exclusively gay, because he has a lot of children. It's hard to really say, and it ultimately doesn't really matter. And, I've talked about.
And it doesn't matter. So I don't know why this is even brought up.
That's my interviews. I think if he came forward and said, hey, I'm a bisexual man, I think a lot of the jokes, like the no Diddy jokes and so forth, will kind of ease down, and people might actually be a little understanding of his situation a little bit more, as opposed to him denying it. But ultimately, who knows? I have no idea.
I can't.
We've talked.
I can't say that word 5 times. My mama will slap me, and she watches my show sometimes. She'll be like, "What'd you say?" She'll grab the la chancla and be like, "Come here, let me get at you." She could probably still beat my ass, even though I'm as old as I am.
People have talked a lot in the last few years that it's unusual that so few people in the music business have been held to account under the Me Too campaign umbrella in the way that other industries were held to account. Could this be, following R. Kelly and others, could this be a tipping point where there might be a lot of other rap stars in particular, perhaps with very checkered backgrounds, lots of rumors about them, could all start falling like dominoes?
It's hard to say. Like I said in the beginning, it's very reactionary. I think if there is a lot of media attention over somebody, there's a documentary about them, there's movies about them and so forth, I think that ends up getting on law enforcement's radar, and then you will see things kind of escalate very quickly.
He should know, and he should know, because he's had a couple people that he's interviewed that have said things on his videos that, have gotten in trouble. Yeah, he should know.
Hard to say. R. Kelly was extremely high profile, and there will be others, but I don't think that the music industry is really having less situations than other industries. I mean, every industry has certain situations and they're high profile. There's a bunch of other stuff that kind of falls below the radar.
Finally, DJ, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think Diddy will ever come out of prison?
That's a tough one, because I was really shocked that he didn't get a bond. I thought for sure that he'd be sitting in his mansion right now awaiting trial, but he's sitting in a jail cell right now. And it could be years before this actually makes it to trial. So it proves that things are very, very serious on his end. And if you look at the R. Kelly situation, he got, I believe, 30 years.
Wow.
This may fall along the same lines. So the only difference is, when I looked at the R. Kelly case, a lot of the convictions were based on underage girls. You've heard a few spatterings of underage accusations, but in general, it seemed like most of the women were of legal age in the Diddy case. So I'm thinking it won't be as severe as it is with Diddy. I'm sorry, as it is with R. Kelly. But for someone like Diddy, who's in his mid-50s, he doesn't want to spend 5, 10, 20 years in prison.
No.
He wants to get out. He wants to keep it moving. So I think he will get out of prison at one point. It's just hard to say, right now what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So that was his commentary. Hurry up, Vlad.
It's a fascinating story. DJ Vlad, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
I'm joined now by Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, who's a lawyer for...
Who is this lawyer? We just talked about her. What happened? What happened? She basically wants out of the case. This is her right here. That is the same lawyer. And listen to what she has to say about this situation, because this is when it got real interesting. Listen to what she says, all right?
One of Diddy's alleged victims. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. There are so many people coming forward now with allegations about Diddy. What do you think about the scale of this case?
Well, before I get into that, I kind of want to address the prior two panelists. First with Mrs. Jaguar Wright. She said a lot of things that were very jarring in her explanation of what she saw and had firsthand accounts on. My concern for her, she's saying a lot of things that could be considered libelous.
Right.
She's Ariel, she's been saying a lot of libelous things throughout since I know her, since she first came to YouTube. Okay, that I give her, that I like, and no receipts. Remember when she outed Tevin Campbell, who she was outing a bunch of people here in the industry. Yeah, she's been saying a lot of whatever things that are not true, things that she should get receipts for.
And I would suggest that she contacts an attorney, if only to vet the information she has or purports to have from other victims.
She won't.
At least they can protect her, and then they can also do their due diligence, the attorneys, to make sure that the information she's receiving is accurate outside of the things that she knows and may have proof of.
She won't.
I was very concerned about some of the things that she had said in her prior segment. I also want to address Mr. Vlad, who I know to be a culture vulture, who takes...
Ooh, shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hold up. I need a break. Oh my gosh. She said what? What she said? She said it. She said it. I wonder if Vlad saw this too.
From the Black community and doesn't give back and puts artists in situations where then they are indicted by the police. And he's very much so what we call police type investigation in the Black community. And for him to repudiate what Mrs. Wright has said, I thought was completely out of line. He can say he doesn't agree, which is fine. But for him to be someone who constantly uses the Black community and uses them as a means for his platform, I thought that was very inconsiderate and unprofessional. Now to get to...
It's true though. No lie. Vlad, this is why people pick on you. To me, this is like, let me tell you something, y'all. This is what I feel. The more you know, truly, it's the more you know when it comes to Vlad TV. Can't disagree. I'm sorry. Some of us have been watching. We've been knowing. It is. This is going to be my new commercial on this live. Ain't that cute? The more you know. I got to play it. Hold up. Let me show you guys. Here it is. Yeah, that's going to be our new thing right there. She's not lying. Okay.
To your question that you asked of me regarding the victims, there are victims coming out every day, even someone who contacted me last night. So, and
here we go.
It's only standing to be more individuals coming out. I do talk to some of the other attorneys.
So she has had victims come to her still. Keep that in mind. That's what she's saying, right? Even though she has dropped her other client, there's still victims that are coming to her. So she could very well be representing other victims as well.
Who represent victims that we already have known because they filed cases, who have additional victims who plan to come forward and they plan to file cases against very soon. So it's only a matter of how many more are going to come out. And it seems to be, it'll be very many more.
You've said that you've been contacted regarding the sale of one of the Diddy freak-off tapes and that it features a very high-profile celebrity. What can you tell us about that?
So actually, I recently was contacted by one of my business partners who's also an attorney who said to me, well, why are we not writing the demand letter to try to do the catch and kill? And I said, well, if you want to do it, then I'll connect you and you can essentially do it. He was also concerned about wanting to protect the other person who was in the film, mainly because I've known about this for about 3.5 weeks to about a month, I've been communicating with these people who purport to have that videotape. And it wasn't until Thursday night that they outright said, can you write on your letterhead a letter to the individual who's also in the tape and see if they're interested in a catch and kill? And is that something we'll give you X amount of percentage of it? And at the time,
I think for me, it's like, I don't know how I feel about the way in which they're dealing with, to publicly come into a platform and talk about the catch and kills and everything and all these stuff that you're doing. It feels a little disingenuous when it comes to dealing with victims. I really don't want to know about the conversations that these attorneys are having and the strategies of coming to, you're right. Kiss a mooch. She did. She said, the catch and kill, this catch and kill keeps coming up. And I don't know if I necessarily like that narrative. Shout out to B. Timmy says, Diddy victims can fit a football field. That's what it's looking like. By the way, that attorney, the one from Texas, did another interview just recently with Law and Crime. And he said that he got, after that, after yesterday's, press conference, he got another 1,200 more calls on that hotline. So I definitely believe that they have their work cut up for them at this point. But I just don't like, I don't like the way that they're dealing with this, if that makes sense. B10, thank you so much for being a member for 21 months. Says congrats on the 70K, Robert. You deserve it. Thank you. You guys, we will be partying it up once we hit 70.1. We'll definitely have a little party, a non-Diddy party, where you don't have to wear white and you don't have to get naked. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Shout out to you guys.
I was like, I don't think I want to be involved in this, but I hadn't had time to process. But the other attorney I'm speaking of, he's pretty much been in the know the entire time since I first got contacted by these individuals with the tape. And we're pursuing now a meeting with the three of us for us to broker, I guess, a situation where we'll have certain guarantees that once we make the representations to the person in the tape, that we have some level of assurances that this is a valid tape.
And just to be clear, two thoughts about this. One, is it a household name that we're talking about here? And secondly, are they engaged in any criminality from what you understand?
Household name, very much so. More of a household name than Mr. Combs.
Wow,
and
really?
Criminality, they are.
She said this once before. She said it was a household name, more of a household name than Mr. Combs. So she has said this in more than, this is the second time she said this. She said that it was somebody more high profile that was part of these tapes. Yes, Erica, we will have a non-Diddy party with no baby oil and there will be no freak offs. So y'all can keep that shit at home because we're not bringing that over here. I don't want you going to Costco and buying in bulk. We're not doing that. Thank you. Becky, shout out to you, says 10 for the $10. You said they're saying how proud they are of the people coming forward. But at the same time, people have gone to the hospital and cops before all of this. Why now? Becky, I'm so glad you're saying this because I pointed this out yesterday when we were talking about this. When we broke down the numbers that the Texas attorney said, Busby, he said that out of 120, the people that they've collected, that they said that these people are people that we're going to definitely run and do reports on. We're going to be filing for 120. 55% of those have actual documentation like hospital reports, police reports. And that is the $1 million question, that if some of these crimes were reported before, what happened? Why didn't hospitals report? And that, my friends, is what you call legit. It shouldn't be surprising. We have a huge problem with our system, with our judicial system, with the way things are reported, the way we review victims, the fact that somebody could just buy you off because your name is Diddy. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Definitely. And that's the question, is why not now, in terms of we got to figure something out, right? We have to figure out what's wrong, that the people that are victims weren't able to get help back then. This man should have been prosecuted a long time ago. The people involved in this circle should have been prosecuted a long time ago. No difference in Scientology. Okay. It's like we're waiting, but we know that there are crimes that have happened within that whole institution. And I'm sure there's been reports. What happened with Danny Masterson? There was reports. People were, they wanted to handle it in the inside. It's been an ongoing thing. But how come he wasn't brought down back when these reports were happening? 3 decades of perpetrating on people. And we have children involved, 25. Thank you so much, Becky, for the $10. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You said it is because street cops did the reports and the admins shut it down. Somebody shut it down, Poe. Somebody shut it down, right? This is not okay.
Are engaged in pornography. They're not doing anything illegal per se. I can't say that I'll say this. My concern was that I could not verify the age of the individual. And so that was my concern about not having anything sent to me and viewing it in the way that I did via stills, via FaceTime video. So I didn't want to have anything in my phone because my issue is we can't determine if this person is 17 to 21.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want anybody saying sending you child porn, especially if you can't tell the age by the graphics that they're sending you. Iron Rabbit, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you, love. I got a little ding on my phone. Thank you for the Cash App. Shout out to you, Iron Rabbit. Thank you.
Fascinating. It's been reported there could be a class action with over 50 alleged victims of Diddy. It also feels like there could be a lot more than that. Do you think, when you look at this case now, that he's ever going to come out of prison?
I do not think Mr. Combs will get out. I was not surprised that he did not get bond. I was saying from the beginning that I was fairly certain, due to my experience in the legal field, that he would not be getting bond and that he would be there until his court case. I also feel as if having a trial would not be in his best interest, and I'll explain why.
So I think, now I'm not Sean Diddy Combs or anybody like that, but if I was him, I would have taken a plea. There's too much stacked up against me at this point. Now, I'm not him, but I'm thinking in my mind, if I was sitting in his, why not take a plea? Do y'all honestly think that Diddy's going to get away from this? He's going to, this is done? Let me know. Thank you, Iron Rabbit. Shout out to you, love. Is he going to get away with this? He's not going to plea out unless he decides, because I don't know how long. I mean, listen, I don't know, but I do wonder about this. You said Kevin Hart, you said Beaver doesn't have that much power. No. You said I have no legal experience and could have told you no bond. Yeah, right, Michelle. I think we all saw the writing in the wall. There was no way. And I mean, they're appealing. Do y'all think that he's going to get away with this? And even if he, I don't know. I don't think he will.
Comes out in that criminal trial will be used by not only me, but every other civil litigator who has a civil case against Mr. Combs. Everything that the federal government proves beyond a reasonable doubt, because they have a higher criteria to meet than we do. It's the preponderance of the evidence in civil court. So if we have the federal government, if you will, doing all of our heavy lifting for us in a very public trial, all of the discovery that is done will be very invaluable almost to every civil attorney who is working on a civil case, which I believe we're about at 14, 15 outside of the other attorney who recently said that he has 50 individuals. And I don't know if he actually has 50 people or if that's a shock value number. I'd be curious to see once that filing comes out. I haven't seen it. I do know other attorneys who have several individuals that they are in the process of filing a complaint for. I'm in the process of filing the complaint for another victim and fielding calls from other individuals who
Now, is this the one that she dropped currently, or is this a new one? I'm kind of wondering about this new victim. I do wonder, is this a new victim? Is this the same Adrena English? What happened with that? Because like I said, we just dropped that news from TMZ that they have dropped that. Ariel's like, listen, Adrena, you're on your own on this one, girl. You got a problem with your tone. It's your tone. It's the way you're doing things.
I may take on as clients. I've actually spoke to multiple individuals, but did not take on everybody as a client because I was unable to verify what it was that they were saying, not because I didn't believe them or believe that what they were saying to be true. And that's why I've also expressed at the beginning that Mrs. Wright needs to seek legal counsel, not only about things that she's saying, things that other people are saying that she's repeating, only because a lawyer will go and do a certain level of due diligence to make.
That's right. And I agree with her. But the thing is Jaguar Wright has been known to just say things out there. That's what bothers me. It's like, when she talked about this, I saved 3. The number 3 is very powerful. I don't know what it is. I've said it before. She said 3 victims, 3 Epstein victims. Okay. And then here you are partying it up with Rick Ross. And then you have the opportunity to address Rick Ross for the women that you helped and you didn't. I have a problem with that. Okay. I don't like if you are not for advocacy, say that and just say you say shit for entertainment purposes at the expense of other people's pain. And that happens, right? There's a lot of people that do that here online. I would probably respect her more if that was the case. If he gets away with this, imagine what the monster he will become. Shout out to Miss O, right, Miss O? Right, Miss O?
make sure that there's a good faith basis that the claims being asserted are actually true. But I never thought that Mr. Combs would get bond. I do not feel it would be advantageous for him to take this to trial, because it would only destroy, well, not destroy him financially, but also let's even pretend he were to get off everything, which I absolutely do not see him being victorious in a criminal trial. The feds have, I believe, like a 97 point something success rate. He's pretty much shooting blind in that situation. His attorney is not doing anything to help him either. And some of the public statements that he's been giving,
He's
is actually
done so.
turning public perception more negatively towards Mr. Combs. Not that I'm trying to help him at all in a legal sense. However, when we talk about criminal law, when we talk about the feds this is not a state case, this is a federal case. When we talk about their success rate, the federal government, especially the Southern District of New York, we're talking about people who aim to kill, is the best way I can put it. They are successful.
That's right. That's right. The federal government success rate, they have all their ducks in a row. They're not going to waste resources. It's too expensive. They're going to do what they're going to do.
They are the leaders in the field, and anything that comes out, any discovery, any testimony, any depositions that come out will be used in his civil cases, which I don't think he's going to want, because that's all he's creating evidence for us to use. And to the point that, while I don't want to acknowledge Vlad, the point that he made earlier about being heavy-handed in terms of any settlement,
She says, I don't want to acknowledge Vlad. Oh, Lord.
do agree to that, only because one of the charges, and the main charges, is a RICO. And a RICO carries a life sentence, not just a 25 or 40 year or whatever. It's a life sentence. And if we think about how RICO was created in New York to take down mafia bosses.
I'm so glad you said this. What can they offer him? New York isn't a DP state unless they're going to charge him with capital M in another state. They have nothing to take off the table. You mean for a plea? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Bosses. And that's what Mr. Combs is. He's a mafia boss. He's a New York mafioso boss. And the RICO law was created to take down people like him. So if he were to take a plea deal, if only to save himself any potential liability in terms of things that could be used against him in civil court, I can't possibly see him taking less than 25 to 30 years in a plea bargain. However, if I was him, that would be the only option I would have, and the only option I would take.
Absolutely fascinating analysis. Thank you very much, David, for joining me. Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Appreciate it.
That is what do you guys think? I mean, I thought it was a good Piers Morgan situation. I feel like Piers didn't really, well, I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know. What do y'all think about that breakdown? Do you feel like, there was more information that was provided to you by these people that you didn't know? To me, do you feel like Jaguar Wright totally spoke right and did right by the victims? Now, mind you, let me show you that screenshot again for those that are lost, okay? Because like I said, I had a lot of people, and I told you, don't mess with me when I tell you I got the receipts, I got the receipts over here, okay? When I told you that this lady uses victims for entertainment purposes and entertainment purposes only, so you know, right? Because she said that it was Rick Ross where the girls were taken. Now, let me tell you, let me play this again, because some of you guys might have been late. This is her, okay? This was literally May 22nd that was uploaded. This year, okay?
But when you spend time with strangers and they finally feel safe enough to go.
Let's see, because it's the music, so dramatic.
I got them off of Epstein Island. I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
Now, my question is, how did she get into a boat? Where is, hold up, let's see, Epstein Island. So I think she just took like a boat down there. What year was this? When exactly this happened? I don't know. Like, well, when did this happen? Do y'all ever wonder, like, what was the date of that? Time frame? Like, I love looking at Donata's like, I just had to bring you guys, because I'm telling you, I always have a lot of people come into my comments and I said, listen, this is why I struggle with Jaguar Wright. Yeah, that's come on. I just want you guys to know that this is clearly just entertainment purposes for this woman. She's not about victims. She's a great actress. Can really get into character, great storyteller. Oh my God. Sylvia, shout out to Sylvia. Thank you so much, love, for the Cash App. Shout out to you, love. Thank you. Sorry, my phone's buzzing all crazy. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Jag ain't even. So wait, she don't got a car, a bike, sneakers, and she took a boat to rescue those women? Oh my God. I don't think she's allowed to travel because she got kicked out of this airport. Was it last year where she was like on a no-fly list? I remember this because she was on the video. She had the video and she's like, "You're about to be YouTube famous." And she literally puts the video out there. She got these people like, "Get that camera out of there." Not she's Batman. Oh my. How about Nightcrawler? Because you know how Nightcrawler can go back and forth in different areas? All right, whatever.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
How?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Okay.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports. And then
That's the problem, you guys. This is what I wanted to show. Like, you look at this, and if you know no different, you're looking at this story, and you know you're touched by this because you're like, damn, like I can't believe this woman is a hero. She literally saved 3 women from Epstein Island. And she saved these women from Rick Ross, house, whatever, at this music video. But then she's partying it up with him later on. Like, that's not okay, guys. It's not okay.
And they drugged them. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container.
Oh my God.
Strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
Right.
Wow.
After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos,
Okay.
shoots, as groupies and extras.
So yeah, I mean, it's very dramatic. You're watching this, and then you go back to hear about her encounter when she met Rick Ross. And what does she say? Oh, that was great. I know how to behave. This is like a joke to her. You're like, wait a minute. In May, you talked about how you saved these women.
What's more on the way?
That's right.
It's funny. I just had a very interesting interaction with Rose.
Rose. Who's Rose? Rick Ross. Thank you, Venus Blue. Florida to Epstein Island is 1,240 miles. So sailboat? Yeah, she got there on a sailboat. She don't even own a car. How'd she get there? Girl. Thank you for the $2. You said she regurgitates things that other people said. But I had to just show you guys because I know a lot of you guys come into my comments, especially those that don't know how deep the Jaguar Wright situation goes here on YouTube for many, many years. I wanted to show you guys the receipts. Okay. So she's over here. She had an interesting interaction with Rose, Rick Ross.
That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure whoever staged that little red carpet moment is disappointed. I think they thought I was going to like flip out and start calling them a Diddy doo-wop bop.
I don't know what's so funny. You rescued 3 women, right?
No, I know how to be professional.
That's right. She knows how to be professionally fake. Professionally fake. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys in the chat. She don't even have an address. She doesn't. All right. This is a show. This is entertainment. She's using victim stories to entertain those, and that's what really is sad. And we should all be upset about that. If everybody wants to hold Chris Todd accountable, or whatever the hell his name is, the one that wrote the fake Kim book, why can't we do that with her as well? Thank you. Remember when her car caught on fire? They set that car up on fire. Remember, if she don't have a car, she don't have any chanclas. She doesn't have anything. Remember that? They blew up the car. Remember that? Somebody broke it down here on YouTube. They blew up the car. Initially, she said that it was Jay-Z trying to set her up. No, the lady blew up her own car with Goomba head. That's who it was. Yeah, I'm talking about Jamal. If we can talk shit about Jamal, I'm sure we can hold other people accountable. Remember that car? But see, some people don't know about that because they haven't been following that. I'm done. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys know. Yeah, she said it to destroy evidence. We should be upset, but you know, people platform her and say I'm just saying, y'all, believe whoever you want to believe, but just note that I believe 25% of the things that she says, like her name is Jaguar Wright. That's what I believe. I believe she performed with Jay-Z. Yeah, I believe that. That's what I believe. Other than that, I don't believe anything else that she said. That's it. That's all. All right, guys, I'm outie here. Shout out to you guys in the chat. First of all, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Shout out to the wonderful, beautiful creators that were in my chat earlier. I have put a lot of creators that I'm really cool with in the description box. Go check them out. BJ Investigates. Come get this commentary. Chico, I think I need to add Chico's name in there as well. I don't know if she's in the chat. Sorry, Chico. I need to add you in there as well. Who's also a creator and a mod. Chico, come get this commentary. Kiva, the plainest Jane. BJ Investigates. Who else? Danny Robertson. Shout out to my boo Danny. All these people that I'm cool with. I gotta add some more. I gotta do a list of the people that I'm really good with, so you guys know who I'm good with, and I can reference them. It's easier to give them shout outs. I will see you guys on the next one. I gotta go tend to this baby bunny. Okay, you guys have a great night. Bye. Hit that like button. Don't be stingy with the likes. Okay, bye guys.